out on there as live. And this is a live stream, and I think I'll call this volume 9 of F# live coding. And this is building a Get Ride application similar to Uber or Lyft. And this whole inspiration of domain-driven design, and you have your ride domain, you have your account domain, and this whole specification as a library. Hence, this should eventually this should be called ride specification, ride test. And in here, this is your account specification, account test. Okay. And we look at every specification is going to, or every specification library for a given domain, it's going to have operations, and it's going to have a language to it that those operations rely on. And these are some operations that are function types, right, for our account specification. If I could scope to this right here, your add bank card, remove bank card. So I wrote some automated tests a couple of videos ago on removing a bank card. Here's an example of controlling modes, collapse everything. Here's an example of those tests for both add and remove. Like this is an add bank card operation over here. And so, if it says if a user is filling out a form, they provide the bank card type, the name, in this case, the holder name. I should probably change that. Well, no, it's a bank card. So the name. But if you look at this test, it's not clear. So I guess I should change this to holder name. I think I had it there originally, but something like that. Okay. And make sure it cascades over here. Control Shift B. Of course, that broke. Something like that. Okay. So eventually you do an add bank card.execute, and then we want to verify that the bank card was accepted, right? So this add bank card execute is going to mutate this property called bank card accepted through its execution. All right. What else? Well, so that was adding a bank card, removing a bank card. I have a couple tests for that. All this is on my Bizmonger or my GitHub/Bitmonger. Let me start over. All this is on my GitHub/Bizmonger. So you can look at the source code. And this is just an exercise that I'm doing to build up muscle memory and just practice F# development, specifically domain modeling using functional programming techniques. Okay. The last video that I did was revisiting the, let me go back, revisiting this ride domain. And again, I need to update this portal back to ride. And I was discussing in the last video within my specification that a ride really has several states. It's a state machine. And so when you request a ride, you're actually, if it's successful, you have a pending ride. And that's really an option. You may have a pending ride, you may not. And then there's a cancel ride operation that results in a canceled ride state. And there's also a en route and the ride ended, right? All this is going to participate in the state machine. So I was going through the thought process of the different states of a ride. And I think I'm going to, in this video, I'm going to attempt to write a test for the cancel ride. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, so for the cancel ride, this is get ride over here. And I'll just go ahead and I'll take all you and I'll add a new file and I'll call this a cancel ride. And I'm going to copy paste inheritance. And over here, I'm going to say cancel ride. Okay. And eventually I'm going to have a test. And that test is going to be, the test is going to be cancel pending ride. Okay. And that is going to involve a setup, it's going to involve a test, it's going to involve a verify. Okay. And false should equal true. Right. For right now, that's the placeholder. Okay. And I guess this needs to be indented. Okay. So now what? Well, if we look at our get ride, we have so far we can borrow this setup over here. Okay. And so we have our view model, which is our get ride view model. We set a pickup, we set a destination, and we request the ride. Okay. That request is no longer in the test phase, but that's still part of the setup phase. Okay. Now, what we want to test is that we could say view model dot. And here's a question. This get ride view model, that the question is, should that migrate to or transition to a new view model of ride view model? Well, maybe not. If we transition into a actual ride view model from a get ride view model, then that's assuming that we are already en route, something to that effect. So maybe it's safe to have a cancel in this view model right here of get ride. I think that probably fits better. So you have a cancel dot execute. Okay. And that's to be added, hence test driven development. And then we can say that our view model dot canceled, we could say, well, yeah, we could say canceled should equal true. And just keep it simple like that. Okay. So how do we accomplish that? We're going to need to have our cancel command right here. And that cancel command should be x dot canceled equals true, like that. And we should go ahead and have our, come here, Willis, canceled right here as a property. Okay, and over here we should just have canceled like that. Okay, and up here we should define probably let mutable and say canceled like that. Okay, and that equals false right now. Okay. Okay. So this view model is happy, no red squigglies. OCD is taking over. How do I want to do this? I want to do it like that, or do I want to act like I'm cool and do it sound like this? Okay. And act like I'm cool and do something like this. Okay. And okay. Now what? Well, I can go back to my cancel right test and then Control Shift B. And I think this should build. And I also think that this test should pass because it was very trivial. All right. Now, the test passes, but what did I really accomplish? Well, I just accomplished a state change. Hold on, let me go back. But this x dot canceled, like that cancel is going to go through regardless. Okay. Like I shouldn't have to wait on an external system to confirm a cancellation. This cancel, once this command is published, this cancel is a send and forget, a publish and forget. I shouldn't have to sync up with the external system to verify that I canceled. All right. The system just needs to get that message. So I think that this logic right here is fine, with the exception of that I need to publish that cancel, right? So I could say like broadcast and broadcast what? Well, there probably needs to be some like cancel ride and you broadcast that and you broadcast that to your handlers, something like that. So you can say broadcast to handlers. Um, 1 second, my dog is barking. Okay, so I broadcast that to some handlers, and then I just go ahead. This broadcast to send and forget, and then I just set the canceled property. Okay. Well, what's this cancel ride? That's going to be. It's kind of like a message that I need to create, and so like for right now, this can this can be in my maybe domain. Again, I need to rename this portal.viewmodels, portal.domain to ride.viewmodels, ride.domain. Okay, but there should probably be some notion of a cancel ride command or message. What do I want to call this? I'm going to call this commands for right now. This may be called workflow. I'm not sure yet. I'll call it commands right now. And what does it say? I don't know what all this came from. So you can say module, and we can say ride dot domain dot commands maybe. And we could say type, and then we can say command. All right, and then we can say equal, and then we can do this right here. But you know what? As I'm thinking about this, I don't think this is right. Up here, we already have a query up here. This query for request ride is essentially a interface. And so I don't think, yeah, I'm going to hold off on this commands part. And instead, I am going to either add a new parameter called commands, or I can refactor this right here into a request type, and you can request a ride, you can request a cancellation, and that might be better, right? So what I'm saying is something like type, you say request, and your request is going to be a ride, you know, and that may be a pending ride, or no, it's not pending ride, it's request ride, or you can say cancel, and that could be a cancel ride. And yeah, I think that might be better. Okay. Because right now, yeah, I think that would be better. So this would really be, hold on, let me start over. This would temporarily comment this out. And I'm going to have a request in here, something like this. And that's going to be of type request. Okay. And this request where's that going to live at? That's going to be in my specification dot operations, something like this right here. Okay. And if I go back over here, I can do this here, and I can do, yeah, I don't need this, I don't think. Say request dot cancel. These are still going to take parameters, right? So this ride request that involves request ride, which was up here. Okay, so I'll be consistent with that, and I'll say cancel ride, like that. Okay, and I don't know how this works. So looking for a comma. I'll say cancel ride, and actually that cancel ride needs to be defined up here. Let cancel ride equal, and right now that's just going to be a unit. Okay. Now what? That should be fine. Request ride takes a unit, returns a unit, cancel ride unit, but here it's type AB. Not sure what I'm doing here. It says it needs another. Okay. So that over here. Okay. So boom, boom. That's fine. And not sure what this is over here. This is supposed to be, I think it's just supposed to be true. I don't know how to do this. Hold up. This is can request fun, boom, true. It needs a parentheses. And unexpected. Okay, let's start over. So I do this over here, and then I'll just say this like that, then that is fine. Okay. So if that is fine, then what exactly is wrong? Well, I'll just do cancel ride right here. That should still be fine. And then I'll do a ride.cancel right under it. And that's fine. And everybody's happy. Okay. So, or you could just do something like this. Okay. Now what? If we go up here, we have our cancel ride, which needs to be done. And so this would be, let me go ahead and build this real fast. This request should get set, and that request, once it gets synced in with the other libraries via this compilation, this request right here can then be dot ride, and that should be happy. Okay, which means that I can now safely remove this commented out code, and I should over here, I should be able to say x dot something like canceled. How does this work? How does that work? What do I do? Ultimately, I just want to say this request dot cancel. Okay. That cancel is going to require some arguments. It's pending ride. Okay. So do I have a pending ride? This ride over here Is this referenced anywhere? That is referenced over there. This ride, that should be a, if it's successful, it's going to be some ride, right? Some pending ride, because that's the option type. So theoretically, I should be able to say, I should be able to do something like this, like x dot ride. We'll pipe that into a function, okay? And that function will either have a sum, you could say ride, and if it's some ride, then I could say request cancel, and I provide the ride. There's another argument in here that a cancel ride require, or no, there's not, it's only a pending ride. Okay, so that should be straight. And then I can go over here and I could say, if I don't have a ride at all, then I just don't do anything, you know? So I just do something like that. And that should be okay. Hold up. This cancel ride. Oh, that's going to be, this dog is annoying me. This cancel ride, I have this as a result, but, and because I have it as a, oh God, 1 second. My dog is trying to build a nest so she could go to sleep. All right, so this cancel ride, right now I have this as a return type of result because eventually it needs to communicate with the external system. But as I said earlier, I'm now changing that because when you cancel a ride, it should just be send and forget. A request ride, there needs to be a confirmation. When you cancel a ride, it's just canceled. And you know, the driver, they're just out of luck if for whatever reason they're not getting that message. So change that to canceled ride. All right, I changed my stance a lot. Okay, so that's going to break some things. But this, that should be fine. Oh, well, yeah, that should be fine. So let me start over. Let me Control Shift B real fast. And if you want to cancel the ride, we need to basically pattern match on if we have a ride that's registered. In this case, a pending ride that's registered. And if it is, then we just say request.cancel, and then we could just say, I'd rather say this right here. I'd rather say pending ride. Okay. And so this says it must return a value of the same type. The first branch returned a value of type canceled ride, but this branch returned a value of unit. Okay, so regardless, I could just say this canceled. I can't spell canceled. How do you spell canceled? Canceled ride, something like this. The two L's and canceled. Why can't I spell canceled ride? Over here. And what else does it want? It wants a cancellation ID. And is that what this is? Hold up. Cancel. That's cancel ride. Okay, so this is cancel ride, and that needs a pending ride. And so I feel like I'm doing the same thing. This makes sense. I don't know what I'm supposed to put here. Okay, so this is assuming that I have to have a pending ride to cancel. And that, I mean, that makes sense. It's just this ride over here is an option type, right? Because you're not guaranteed to have a ride. So this is a whole, functional programming constrains you to write code a certain way and encourages you to count for all the states, hence exhaustive pattern matching. Um, so in this case, what I'm running into is this cancel ride case requires a pending ride in order for this to compile, and that makes sense. Only thing is this ride is optional, but I'm forced to handle if there's no ride at all. And so that's the part that kind of sucks. So this request.cancel now turns out to be a canceled ride option where, and I'm not sure if that really sounds right, but you don't need, I don't think you need this anymore. Um, I think you just put something like this. Control Shift B. And so your cancel ride is going to have it will maybe have a canceled ride, or it just has nothing. I guess that's okay for right now. That seems kind of funky. But something else I want to do is, why can't I just put this up here? And why can't I just, well, I'll put this over here. And then I could do something like this over here. And that makes me look cool. Okay. Okay. So now this ride over here, this is complaining. Why are you complaining? Because you're an option, right? So you're going to be some results. And that result is a pending ride. And so I guess this over here is no longer needed. Something like that. Okay. And then we can bring this up. And we can move you over here. And then we can back it up like that. Okay. And then what? This over here, none. Okay. And I don't know what this is supposed to, oh shoot. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Request a ride, and is ride available equals true. Oh shoot. This is supposed to be over here. Okay. Like that. And that right there. Okay. And I don't know if it should be like this. IDK. So now what? I have one more. This ride over here, it's not sitting right with this over here. So we went from a result to a ride option. And so we'll say this will be none. And over here, what are we looking at? Pending ride option. And this is x.ride, pending ride option. So what is it complaining about? The expression was expected to have pending ride option, but here has result.pending ride. If I look at this again, shoot, this is a result. Let me go back. This ride over here is a result. Okay, let me just Control Shift B. And I'm not sure what the squiggly is over here, but I need to figure out what this is complaining about. So this x.ride is referenced up here. And I feel like I'm getting ready to repeat myself. This x.ride, in this case, this property x.ride is no longer a result type. It's being treated as an option. And so that request ride, man. This ride over here is a result type. All right, I'm getting confused now. Like, why? The expression was expected to have pending ride option, but here has a result. Okay. This is a result right here. So why are you expected to have an option? It's not clear to me yet. And that's not clear to me yet either. Okay. I don't see it. So I'm going to attempt to build one more time. It still complains. I'm just going to reload the project because I don't see it. So close you and reopen. And so the solution is now reloaded. And I don't see any squigglies in here. Yes, I do. Crap. So yeah, I don't see this. This ride is going to be of type result in which if it's successful, it's going to be a pending ride option. Else, if it's not successful, it's going to be error description. Okay. This error says this expression was expected to have type pending ride option. Why do you expect to have type pending ride option? Okay, let's say result, result, and let's go back to our operations. And let's just try to figure this out. Okay. Now it says must be given after, and I should be able to do this. All right. Do I need to? Do I need to? I don't think I need to wrap this anywhere, do I? I don't think this matters. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that definitely doesn't matter. Type annotations on property getters and setters must be given the get or set v. Okay. With get string equals. Okay. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Do that. Close. Is this ride used anywhere else? This ride is only used in this getter and setter. Okay. Now, is the property being used? Where are all the other places the property is being used at? We have cancel ride. This cancel ride. This is going to be this right here. And do something like that. So now what? Where else is this ride being used at? Shift F12. No references found. Control Shift B. Am I? See, that's right. So where else is this ride being used at? It's being used. Some or none. All right. So if I comment this out, then it goes away, and your ride now returns to a result type. Okay. So now what? You got to say this right here, and you got to say it's okay. Then you have a I don't know, you have something. It's okay, then you're going to have true, and or you have your x.ride available equals true. And if it's error, then you have your ride available equals false. Okay. And now I got rid of that. And this cancel ride up here. I can revisit. Okay. Hell's bells. Did you not? Hold up. My failure is a test. I don't care about these tests right now. Unload these tests. I just want a green build, and then I could troubleshoot this cancel ride. This ride right here is going to be a result type, right? So that's the issue. The sum or none is the option type. So everything builds down here. So now I can revisit this right here. And so, come back. So I can go here and this cancel ride, you got ride dot function, and this is supposed to be a okay of a result. And then you can say that the result is a function, and that's going to be a sum pending ride, and then it's none like that. Okay. Else we have none. Yeah, where's this? I don't know what this is supposed to be. Cross pending ride, cancel. None. I guess this is cancel ride too. I don't know. And then this none over here is going to be, I don't know, something like that. What do you want? Oh, okay, and air. And then that could be none over there. Okay. Everything should still build. And do I really need to say pending ride, or can I just say pending? Oh, shoot. Okay. And then that allows me to bring my arrow back over here. And I can reload my test up here. Now I should get my build errors for my view model. That's expected. So now we need to have a mock request that has a ride query and a cancel request. So we'll have here let request. I don't know if I should call that operations request. I'll just leave it request, and that's going to be a request like that. And that's going to be a what is that going to be? It's just that's just this right here. And so it's going to be what is this? It's going to be a ride. Actually, I could throw you up here. Okay. And then I could say And I'll put you over here. Okay. So ride, actually I'll throw you down here. Okay. And say ride equal. And then I think I should be able to do like ride query right here. Okay. And then I think it's cancel equal. And then that cancel is supposed to be cancel ride. And so I don't think I have a cancel ride mock in here. So I could say let cancel ride. That's going to be of cancel ride, which is this right here. And that's going to equal more likely a function that takes a pending ride, and it should just return a, let's just return a sum and then canceled ride. Something like that. This canceled ride is a cancellation ID and a ride. Okay, so let's say sum, and here you have cancellation ID equals, hopefully that's a string. So you say sum cancellation ID, right? Which isn't really defined. I'll define it right here. Some ride ID. Let sum cancellation ID equal. Let sum cancellation ID equal. And then we put in here some cancellation ID. Okay. So you have your sum cancellation ID right there. And also you're going to have a this cancel ride as a canceled ride, and your canceled ride has a ride property as well, which is of type pending ride. So we have ride equals, and then you have some ride, and that should be happy. Okay, that's some cancellation ID. It's right there, but you have to put in cancellation ID type. Okay, and then that's fine. Now what? Well, you have your cancel ride, which is down here, and that's happy. Okay. So now what, Willis? I wonder if I'm allowed to do this. I'm not sure if that's the best. And that's probably not readable at all. But it fits on two lines. This one is fine, right? This one fits on two lines. So now what? Well, we have this request in here. So if I go back over here, I should be able to say mock, where am I at? I should be able to say mock request. Now let me build everything. I should still have the same 5 errors, but I'm going to replace this ride query with mock.request.ride query. So I should be able to say mock.request.ride. Shoot. Oh, yeah. Why doesn't that work? Cancel and you have ride, right? And it says that your, okay, so that ride doesn't work. Let's try query was a request ride. Yeah, that should be okay. Request ride query. Okay. So this get ride takes a, let me look at this again. It takes a, let me do this. How about this? Let request equals mock dot request. Okay. Now this request dot ride still relies on the ride query. Like if I go here, this request dot ride is that right there. And if we look at our mock, hold up, request ride is request ride up here. And if we look at our mock, the ride query is request ride. And so that should work to me. And or is it just, oh shoot, hold up. Oops. All right, so that's it. Mock request. Here. Like that. Okay. And then you just use that everywhere. So, and we have a, my tests are now going to fail because I need to include this non-favorable ride query as well. So there's going to be a request, a mock.request, and then ride favorable. You could say favorable, or you could say something like this. And then you can say non-favorable ride non-favorable equals, and it's non-favorable ride query like that. And go to our request up here. And that right there, that's still a request ride. Okay. And so got that there. That's over here. Okay. Control Shift B. Okay. Okay. And it says that this is not defined because you are below me. Okay. And so up here, that right there. Okay. Hell's bells. Hold up. That, boom. Ride favorable, request ride. Oh, and that's why. Okay. That right there. Control Shift B. And collapse this some, you see I'm in my test API. And I go over here, and this is a mock.request. Okay. And if I go over here, all this is mock.request, mock.request, and down here, mock.request. Okay. So it looks like everything builds, but the test should fail because I think I still need to handle the case for a non-favorable ride execution. I don't think that's just handled below the scenes, behind the scenes. And my guess is true. So in this case, this view model dot view model get ride, I need to probably assign. I know how to do this. I just don't feel like going through the refactoring, right? Basically, what I want to do is I want to say something like, let ride request equal, and then you say you say mock dot non-favorable query. Okay, and then I want to say something like mock dot request dot, in this case, ride something like, how would I do this? I would say something like mock dot request is a record, right? So I would say something like something like this, like mock dot request with ride equals, and then like mock dot non-favorable query, like that. That's what I think I need to do. And so then you can say let request equal, something like that, and then you say like request in here. Okay. Now that means that I need to go back in here and there needs to be I could just add another property called ride. Okay. And this ride can be assignable. Like this ride can be mutable. Can I say like mutable ride equals, and it's going to be our happy path ride query. Shoot. Our happy path ride query. Shoot. Our happy path ride query. How do I do this? How do you have a mutable property? How do you have a mutable property in here? Hold up for a second. I know you have a mutable property. F sharp mutable property. Okay. And if the property is to be mutable, include with get set or a mutable, it's mutable record property. But I guess that defeats the whole purpose of a record. But I'm almost positive you could do this. They have, let me see this. Type, and then they have mutable, and then they have whatever. So in here, I should be able to say this, all right, based on the spec or based on whatever. Unexpected keyword mutable in expression. So if I say mutable type car equals, okay, records are immutable by default. However, you can easily create modify records by using a copy and update expression. You can also explicitly, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. So they're right. I can, first of all, oh, I was in the wrong part. I could say this over here, and that can be request write. And we could say, we'll call this ride strategy. Right. And this would be ride strategy. And right now, by default, this would be ride query, which is favorable. Then I can go back to get ride and request with ride strategy, something like that. Now, if I do that, that's still not. I'm going to have a ride strategy and delete the favorable and non-favorable. Like, so what happens with that is even when I call request.execute, request ride, I don't know what this is about. I'll worry about that later. This request write, we have our request dot ride favorable, but that should really be request dot ride strategy. Okay. And that means that this ride favorable, non-favorable, whatever, that gets deleted, which is going to create more work for me. And I could probably get this ride strategy. I'm just going to rename to ride. Okay. And all this is no longer needed. Shoot. Oh, that ride. Okay. And here, mock request with, well, that should be fine. Everything succeeds. If I run the test now, it should pass. Everything passes. Okay, good stuff. Now what? There's something that was bothering me. In my view model, I was getting a warning. This cancel ride is supposed to this cancel ride was supposed to return a canceled ride option. Okay, so I could say x dot canceled equals, of course, canceled is a bool. So cancel ride, if I examine this, this was x dot ride and request dot cancel. And what I need to do here is say x dot canceled equals true. And if it's none, well, if it's none, then I guess it's false. And if it's error, it's false. Okay. And this right here, I guess I could be ignored. No, should it be ignored? Take that back. So this is going to return a canceled ride or a cancel ride state. Yeah, I don't care about this right now. This stuff will get caught or fixed as I flesh out the view model. And all branches of pattern must have the same type. Okay. In this case, we can say okay. Control Shift B. And build everything. And everything still passes. Okay. So I did all this work, all this refactoring, and spun my wheels to cancel a pending ride. Now, something else that I want to do, and I'll probably do in the next video because I'm tapping out right now, is there probably should be a confirmation on if you want to cancel, right? So here you hit cancel, and I'm not sure if there probably should be a confirmation on, are you sure you want to cancel this? And then you just hit yeah. So I might do that in another video. I don't think I have the fuel in me to do it right now. But what I will do is I'll go ahead and commit this to GitHub/bizmonger/get ride and say this added partial support for ride cancellation. Okay. And you commit all and push. Okay. And yeah, that's it. So I'm tapped out right now. Peace.